It's quite a stark statistic when you think about it. Sepsis, it actually kills more people every year than many types of cancer we hear about all the time.
It really is stark. And the fact that public awareness is, well, often quite low, despite how deadly it is.
hmm
That's why this deep dive today feels so necessary.
Absolutely. So today we're diving into sepsis, sometimes called the silent killer.
hmm And we're drawing on insights from a really powerful podcast episode. It featured someone who actually survived sepsis and also a member from the Sepsis Alliance.
Exactly. So our mission here, for you listening, is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most vital information about sepsis. What is it? How big a threat is it? And maybe most importantly, how can you spot it?
Yeah, we want to give you practical knowledge, something you can actually use without it feeling overwhelming.
Right. So let's just jump in. What is actually happening inside the body when sepsis occurs?
Okay, so at its heart, sepsis is this life-threatening condition. It happens when your body's immune system basically overreacts really drastically to an infection.
Overreacts. How so?
Well, instead of just targeting the infection like it's supposed to, the immune system kind of unleashes this massive body-wide inflammation.
Ah, okay.
And that inflammation, that's the problem. It starts damaging the body's own tissues and organs. It's not targeted anymore.
So it's like friendly fire, but from your own immune system?
That's a good way to put it, yeah. This widespread inflammation messes with blood flow, stops oxygen getting where it needs to go.
Yeah.
It can lead to organ failure fast.
That really drives home the silent killer idea. It's not just the infection itself, but this runaway reaction.
Exactly. And the numbers are staggering. The source material mentioned that sepsis is involved in, 1 in 3 deaths that happen in a hospital?
1 in 3, that's huge. It really shows you how common and serious this is. The body's own defense turning harmful.
Precisely. And it's the stories behind those numbers that really hit home. We learned about Erin. She was only 23.
Yeah, that story was heartbreaking. Died from sepsis after just a routine surgery.
It just shows, doesn't it? Sepsis can hit anyone. Young, old, healthy.
It really does. And what's kind of amazing in a way is that her death sparked something really important. The Sepsis Alliance.
Yeah, started by a dentist,
Yeah.
of all people. He apparently hadn't really heard much about sepsis before Erin's case. It just moved him so much he had to do something.
That personal connection, that tragedy really lit a fire, didn't it?
It absolutely did, and look how it grew. It started as just a website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's this national organization reaching millions of people. It just goes to show what awareness and, dedicated effort can achieve, especially when it comes from such a personal place.
So, okay, we know it's deadly. We know it can be fast. Early recognition must be absolutely key then. What should people be looking out for?
Yes, definitely. And the source gives us a really handy tool for that.
Right, the TIME acronym.
Yeah.
Easy to remember.
Exactly. TIME. Let's break it down. T is for temperature.
Okay.
So that means a temperature that's either really high or actually sometimes very low, sort of outside the normal fever range.
Right, so not just a slight fever, something more extreme
Okay.
than
I is for infection. Are there any signs or symptoms of an infection? Doesn't matter how small it seems or where it is. Any potential infection could be the trigger.
Got it. Because even minor things can set off sepsis, yeah.
That's right. Then M stands for mental decline.
Mental decline, like
Yeah.
what, like,
Sudden confusion, disorientation, maybe sleepiness, just a noticeable change in someone's mental state.
okay, why does that happen?
Well, that widespread inflammation we talked about, it can actually affect brain function.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. It's a physical response affecting the brain. And the last one, E.
E is for extreme illness. This is more of a feeling, that feeling of, I've never felt this sick in my life, or maybe I feel like I might die.
Wow, that profound sense of just being terribly unwell.
Yes, and often feeling like things are getting worse very quickly. It's so important to trust that gut feeling, especially if you see other signs.
So temperature, infection signs, mental decline, extreme illness, TIME.
If you spot those signs, especially together, you need to seek medical help fast and specifically ask, could this be sepsis? Acting quickly saves lives.
Absolutely crucial. So the Sepsis Alliance raises awareness with things like TIME, but what else do they actually do?
Oh, they do a lot more. Getting the word out is vital, sure, but their work is much broader. For instance, they have an online platform, Sepsis Alliance Connect.
What's that for?
It's a space for survivors, for caregivers, for families. It provides community, support, somewhere people can share experiences and not feel so alone after going through sepsis.
That must be incredibly valuable. Dealing with the aftermath can't be easy.
No, not at all. And then there's the Sepsis Alliance Institute.
Okay, what do they focus on?
That's geared towards medical professionals, training doctors, nurses, paramedics, making sure they have the latest knowledge on how to spot sepsis, how to treat it effectively, improving care from within the system.
So educating the public and the professionals.
Exactly. And they don't stop there. They're also involved in advocacy.
Like policy changes.
Yeah, pushing for better state-level laws and protocols around sepsis. Things like requiring hospitals to have specific plans for sepsis care. It's about systemic change, too.
That's a really comprehensive approach. Public awareness, professional training, policy.
And a really important point they make, which you need to understand, is that sepsis truly doesn't discriminate.
Right. The sources definitely emphasize that. It's not just one group of people.
We heard examples, didn't we? Elderly people, yes, but also new mothers, even children.
Yeah, that quote from the mother who got sepsis. That was powerful.
I gave birth to my son, and 3 hours later, I was in emergency surgery from septic shock.
Just like that. 3 hours. It shows how suddenly it can strike, even during what should be a joyful time.
Absolutely terrifying. And it highlights why the Alliance's focus on healthcare equity is so important.
What do you mean by that?
Making sure everyone, no matter where they live or their background, can get diagnosed quickly and receive good care. Early access is critical, and it needs to reach all communities.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we've learned a lot about what sepsis is, the signs, the work being done. What can people listening right now do? How can you help fight this?
Right, this is the crucial part, turning knowledge into action. The sources gave some clear steps. First off, visit their website, sepsis.org.
Sepsis.org.
Loads more information there.
Okay.
Secondly, and this is huge, remember TIME. Learn those signs.
Temperature, infection, mental decline, extreme illness.
Yes. And share it. Tell your family, your friends. Just making people aware of that acronym could make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe share this deep dive too. If you found it useful, pass it on. Someone you know might really need to hear this.
Definitely. And, if you're able to, the sources also suggest maybe donating to the Sepsis Alliance or even looking into becoming an ambassador for them.
Every bit helps support their work, right?
Yeah.
Education, support, advocacy.
Exactly. It all contributes. Even just knowing the word sepsis, understanding what it means, that knowledge itself is powerful. It could prompt you or someone else to ask the right question at the right time.
It really could save a life.
Indeed. It's significant information we've covered today, and you have to commend the Sepsis Alliance for the vital work they're doing.
We absolutely do. And look, if you listening found this useful, if you learned something important, please think about rating or reviewing this deep dive.
Yeah, and share it. It genuinely helps get this kind of critical information out to more people.
Definitely. So maybe one final thought to leave you with, something to reflect on.
Okay.
It builds on everything we've discussed. Really try to be in tune with your own body. Trust your instincts. If you ever feel incredibly sick, especially if it comes on fast and feels different, significantly worse than usual, don't just wait it out.
Yeah, don't dismiss it.
Seek medical help quickly. And when you do, mention your concerns. Mention infection. Mention the possibility of sepsis. Knowing the TIME signs combined with trusting your gut. That's a really powerful combination for protecting yourself and your loved ones.